Welcome to Quiz Bang Bang, the pub quiz practice show that hits you pow right in the quizzer. I'm David Flora.
And I'm Annie Flora, and we're here to bring you a variety of questions to test you the way Rocky was tested in every movie with a punch in the face.
That's right. We're going to punch you in the face with questions until you scream for your lover.
Yeah. That's right.
But it's good because it means you have won at that point, right?
It does mean you have won.
Yeah.
How are you this week, David?
Oh, I'm great. I'm especially great after that analogy. How about you?
I'm good.
Have you learned anything new this week?
I have learned something new. I have learned two things this week. One, that the squash tournament is being held in Chicago.
The squash tournament?
The squash tournament, like the big international powwow of squash. What do you call sports events?
I think you call them big international powwows.
So it's happening
I
in
don't know why you're asking me after you said it.
So it's happening in Chicago. Interesting tidbit. It's happening in Union Station, which is our train station. So that's cool.
This is the place where one of the final scenes in The Untouchables was shot, where there's wasn't the baby carriage was going down the steps, and the guy shot the mobster, and Kevin Costner was like, baby.
I assume that's exactly how that scene goes.
And then Al Capone goes to jail.
The end.
That's right. So what? Can you just sit on the steps and watch it?
Yeah, you can just they reenact it every hour on the hour.
No, the squash
tournament. I thought you meant the baby carriage. No, you have to pay to get in and watch some of it. I think it was only like $30 a ticket. So
only to watch squash.
Well, it seems like a good price if you compare it to the cost of other sporting events.
Sure.
But second fun fact, do you know which country most elite squash players come from?
I do because you told me.
Yep, that's right. Egypt. Yeah, so Egypt's been just dominating that sport for years. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Cool.
All right, let's dig in.
Let's do it. Here's the lowdown on how it's going to work. Quiz Bang Bang is comprised of 4 rounds of 4 questions each, followed by the answers. After round 2, we'll ask a quick-fire bang-bang question, where you'll have a time limit to give multiple answers. After the 4th round, the show culminates with the Big Bang, a final round with 3 questions whose answers are all clues to one final question. Alrighty, round 1. Question 1. The category is film. Which sequel, directed by Steven Spielberg, had the foreboding tagline, "Something has survived"? Question 2. Category U.S. presidents. Which president got a new bathtub for the White House that was so large it could hold 4 average-sized men? Question 3. Category is history. Who did Mehmet Ali Agca attempt to assassinate in 1981? Question 4. Category is animals. Only 2 kinds of mammals currently lay eggs. Name either of them. And now the answers for round 1. Question 1. Which sequel directed by Steven Spielberg had the foreboding tagline, "Something has survived"? The answer is Jurassic Park: The Lost World. Question 2. Which president got a new bathtub for the White House that was so large it could hold 4 average-sized men? The answer is President Taft, who weighed 330 pounds. Question 3. Who did Mehmet Ali Agca attempt to assassinate in 1981? The Pope, Pope John Paul II. In question 4, only 2 kinds of mammals currently lay eggs. Name either of them. That would be the platypus and the echidna.
Round 2. Question 5. Category, games, hobbies. Which American city is the game Monopoly based on, sharing streets like Boardwalk in Marvin Gardens? Question 6. Category: Science. What common household liquid is mostly made of dilute acetic acid? Question 7. Category: Sports. Which two golfers have won a career Grand Slam, which is all 4 of golf's modern majors, at least 3 times? Question 8. Category: Geography. Thousand Island dressing got its name from the Thousand Islands of what river along the border of the U.S. and Canada? And now, the answers for round 2. Question 5. Which American city is the game Monopoly based on, sharing streets like Boardwalk in Marvin Gardens? Atlantic City. Question 6. What common household liquid is mostly made of dilute acetic acid? Vinegar. Question 7. Which two golfers have won a career Grand Slam at least 3 times? Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. Question 8. Thousand Island dressing got its name from the Thousand Islands of what river along the border of the U.S. and Canada? The St. Lawrence River.
Alrighty, we've reached the halfway point, and that means it's time for the Bang Bang round. For this week's Bang Bang round, the category is literature. You're going to have 30 seconds to give as many answers as possible to the following question, and your time will start after the gunshot. What are all the drugs and drinks that Hunter S. Thompson packs in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Your 30 seconds starts now.
And that's time. What are all the drugs and drinks that Hunter S. Thompson packs in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Here is a quote directly from the book. We had 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-powered blotter acid, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, and a whole galaxy of multicolored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers. And also a quart of tequila, a quart of rum, a case of Budweiser, a pint of raw ether, and 2 dozen amyls.
All right, on to round 3. Question 9, the category is anatomy. What is the medical term for your big toe? Question 10, category is music. Which songwriting trumpeter has the title Father of the Blues? Question 11, category is food and drink. Promoted as a Swiss national dish in the 1930s and popularized in America in the 1960s, which dish comes from a French word meaning to melt? Question 12, category is art. Which surrealist painted the work The Persistence of Memory? And now the answers for round 3. Question 9, what is the medical term for your big toe? That would be the hallux. Hallux. Question 10, which songwriting trumpeter has the title Father of the Blues? W.C. Handy. Question 11, promoted as a Swiss national dish in the 1930s and popularized in America in the 1960s, which dish comes from a French word meaning to melt? That would be fondue. And question 12, which surrealist painted the work The Persistence of Memory? Salvador Dali.
Round 4. Question 13. Category: Science. What was the name of the test project that produced the first nuclear explosion, which took place in 1945 in New Mexico? Question 14. Category: World Politics. Benazir Bhutto was the first female leader of which country? Question 15. Category: Music. What patriotically titled album was the first CD ever made in the United States? Question 16. Category: Space. At its closest possible opposition distance, which planet can get the closest to Earth? And now, the answers to round 4. Question 13. What was the name of the test project that produced the first nuclear explosion, which took place in 1945 in New Mexico? Trinity. It took place in the Ramada del Muerto, or Journey of Death Desert. Question 14. Benazir Bhutto was the first female leader of which country? Pakistan. She was the first woman to head a democratic government in a Muslim-majority nation. Question 15. What patriotically titled album was the first CD ever made in the United States? Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Question 16. At its closest possible opposition distance, which planet can get the closest to Earth? The answer is Venus. Venus gets closer to Earth than Mars or any other planet at 38.2 million kilometers.
That'll do it for the regular rounds, and now we've reached the Big Bang. We'll read you 3 questions whose answers are all clues to one final question. The category of the final question this week is Games and Hobbies. Keep in mind your 3 clue questions won't necessarily be from the same category. Here are your 3 clue questions.
Question 1. Tessellation is the covering of a surface with no gaps or overlaps using geometric shapes of what simple construction objects often used for floors, showers, and decoration?
Question 2. Usually done in a formal or elegant style, what type of writing composition is an epistle?
Question 3. Though the honor of which was the world's first is debated, it's generally accepted that the December 21st, 1913 edition of the New York World newspaper printed the first of what type of puzzle?
And your Big Bang question, again, category Games and Hobbies. Created in 1938 by New York City architect Alfred Butts, what board game has an anagram variation called Clabbers?
And now the answers for the Big Bang round. Question 1. Tessellation is the covering of a surface with no gaps or overlaps using geometric shapes of what simple construction objects often used for floors, showers, and decoration? Tiles.
Question 2. Usually done in a formal or elegant style, what type of writing composition is an epistle? That would be a letter.
Question 3. Though the honor of which was the world's first is debated, it's generally accepted that the December 21st, 1913 edition of the New York World newspaper printed the first of what type of puzzle? Crossword.
And your Big Bang question, created in 1938 by New York City architect Alfred Butts, what board game has an anagram variation called Clabbers? The game that uses tiles and letters in a crossword fashion, Scrabble.
I was going to say Hungry Hungry Hippos.
that was created by Alfred Foote. Great joke. All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of Quiz Bang Bang. Thanks so much for joining us.
We hope you learned a lot and knowledge punched you in the face.
That's right.
Hey, You know what would be great? If you guys could go over to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. It'd also be lovely if you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we will post Lego pictures with trivia questions. It's a hoot.
And if you got any questions you'd like to submit for us to use, please send them through our contact page at quizbangpod.com/contact.
And if you guys want to give us a happy donation or a coffee, we will accept your money.
Yeah, all the links are on the website at quizbangpod.com.
That's all, folks. I have been your host, Annie Flora.
And I've been your other host, David Flora. Until next time, here's looking at you, Quiz.